All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the 3.3 notes. What we're going to do is we're going to take 3.1 and 3.2 as what we did on that is we simplified it. We would have x and we'd have a digit. So you know your answer might have been 3x plus 4, and that would have been your answer. Now we're going to take that and we're going to solve for x, and our answers are going to say x equals something. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to do today. So fasten up and let's go. All right, we're going to start here with number 1. You could write this down. Go with me. We're trying to get x by itself. And you look at number 1, and this is a problem you probably would have gotten in 5th or 6th grade. And if someone said, I mean, you could ask a 3rd grader, what plus 5 equals 10? Everyone knows x equals 5. I get that, okay? But algebraically, I'm going to teach you something your parents learned, I learned. I'm going to teach you now. We're trying to get x by itself. And when x is here by itself, or it's not, you have this x plus a 5. You see that? You have this plus 5. We're going to want to take away 5 from each side. So if we take away 5, do we have anything left? 5 minus 5 is 0. So that's gone, leaving us with just x. Okay, we take away 5 from this side. 10 minus 5 is 5. And that's how we get x equals 5. And when I talk about sides, it's sides of the equal sign. So this is a side. This is a side. X is all alone on this side. 5's all alone on this side. That's how we get x equals 5. So you might be like, Mr. Detman, I can just do these in my head. I get that. The easy ones you can. We're going to get a lot harder. That's why I'm showing you the easy ones now, and I'm showing you how to do it algebraically so we don't have the issue when we get to 1/2 and 1/4 and fractions that are coming up really soon in this video. So look at number 2. We have y or minus 2. Is y by itself? It's not. We want to get it by itself. We have this minus 2 here, so we have to do the opposite. Why do we do the opposite? Because a negative 2 plus a 2, and this all goes back to chapter 1, right? Negative 2 plus a 2 is a 0. We want that to equal 0. So now we have, cross it out, it's gone. Now we have y by itself, right? Well, if we add 2 to this side, we got to add 2 to this side. 16 plus 2 is 18. Y equals 18. Okay, number 3. N minus 3 is 13. We got to add 13 to each side, right? Because we got to cancel this out. If you take away 13, you'll have negative 26. You don't want that. You want n by itself. And since 13 positive and negative equals 0, again, math is always building on each other. We're seeing things now from chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now that we're in chapter 3, and it's starting to make more sense. So now we have 9. We added 13 to this side, so we got to add 13 to this side. Got to keep it equal. Got to do both. 5 plus 3 is 8. 6 plus 1 is 7. N equals 78. Okay. Let's skip down. Let's do number 5. I got a little more room on number 5 right here. It's written a little bit differently. We have t, a positive t. That's what we want. We want t by itself. We want this t by itself. We have a negative 23. We're going to have to add 23 to each side. That'll give me 0 over here, which is what we want. And then we have t over here. This side, if we added 23 here, we got to add 23 to the other side of the equal sign. 4 plus 3 is 7. 5 plus 3 plus 2 is 5. So 57 equals t. Okay. Obviously over here, number 4, minus 3, minus 3. We're starting to get the hang of it. 15 equals p. If not, come see me now before it gets too crazy. If you're doing this at home, keep taking notes, but you can always know where you are in the video. Z equals 7, right? Because 14 minus 14 is 0, so that's gone. Z is the only thing left over here. 14 minus 21 is 7. The key is when you do something to one side, you got to do it to the other. And if you don't, that's where we're going to start making mistakes. All right, let's go ahead and write this one down. Okay. What did we do? We did 6 problems over there. We'll call this problem 7. All right, so y minus 2.1 equals 7.5. So get that jotted down. We want to get y by itself. We want y all by itself, a positive 1y. We want to know what y equals. We have a negative 2.1 here. We're going to add 2.1 to each side. Why? Because when you add this up, negative 2.1 and a positive, you get 0. Then you have this y plus 0, and now y is by itself, right? And when I say by itself, it's on each side of the equal sign. Well, but again, if you added 2.1 here, don't forget to add 2.1 here. The biggest mistake is this. Folks go y equals 7.5, and that's wrong. Why? Because they forgot that whatever they do here, they have to do here. 5 plus 1 is 6. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 and 6/10. Y is 9 and 6/10. Excellent job. Let's keep cruising. Let's keep cruising. Let's do number 8. Let's do number 8. How about negative 6.4 equals x plus 4 and 3/10. Let's go ahead and solve this one. I want to get x by itself. So look, I have a positive 4.3. I'm going to take away 4.3 from each side. That gives me nothing left. Now I have x plus 0 is what I want, right? Boom. I want x by itself. But if I took away 4.3 here, I got to take away 4.3 here. See this? Now we're going to get confused. If we didn't understand chapters 1 and 2 very well, this is where we're going to get lost. Well, since I have a negative 6.4 and I'm going to add an additional negative 4.3, and you're going to see a minus sign. You say, well, Mr. Debman, it's a minus sign. So, you know, I'm going to make it smaller. No, you're taking away. In a sense, if you want to change it, you're adding a negative. So it's a bigger or negative. So we're going to go 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 4 is 10. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these things because this is stuff you've already should have come to me for help on. So now if you are getting stuck on this, this is more like 2.2. 2.2 A and B. If you're getting stuck here, watch the 2.2 notes again. Come ask me for help in person on this because now I'm going to expect you to know how to do those kind of problems so we don't make those kind of errors. I don't want to see you make chapter 2 errors in chapter 3. So here we are. The answer to number 8 is negative 10.7 equals x. Let's do number 9. Or how about let's do number 9 by ourselves. 5 equals n plus 9. Go ahead and solve that. Pause the video, solve it, but don't just do it in your head. Do it in your head, that's fine, but go ahead and show your work. And I want to see it set up the way I've been setting them up. So by the time you get to the end, I see what you have. So go ahead and do that right now. Pause the video and do that. And then when you unpause it, I'll do it with you. We'll check your answer. Go. All right, I'm back. You should have took away 9 from this side. Took away 9 from this side. 5 minus 9 is negative 4, right? And you should have had n equals negative 4 for an answer. Okay? Hopefully you got that with no issues. Let's look at number 10. How about x minus 1/3 equals 5/6? Here we go again. We're going to have to combine some skills from 5th and 6th grade, from chapters 1 and 2 of 7th grade to try to solve these problems. Okay, I want to get x by itself. I have a negative 1/3. Well, I got to add 1/3 to each side, right? That gets rid of that, leaving me with x all by itself. But now I got to combine this, and I know when I'm adding fractions, which you thought you're done with, right? No, never. Okay, you can't add. You've got to have a common. You want to have a common denominator. So I know 3 goes into 6, so I'm gonna make this 1/3. 6. I know 3 times 2 is 6. So 1 times 2 is 2. So now I have 5/6 plus 2/6. I could definitely add those up. Our numerators first. 5 plus 2 is 7. My x's stay the same. 7/6. Or if I simplify that, x equals 1 and 1/6. All right, so we're going to see some fraction work. Make sure we're aware of that. Can we try a fraction 1? Let's try a fraction 1 on our own. How about 3? What are we at, 11? How about 3 3/4 equals r plus 1/8. So we already know we're going to need a common denominator. We're going to have to convert that. So go ahead and get started. Go ahead and do this one on your own. It might take you 5 minutes. It's okay. Pause it and then come right back, and I'll do it with you, and you can check your work. Go. All right, I'm back. Here's my first step. I want to rewrite this whole problem so we have a common denominator of 8, because we don't have a common denominator right now. So I'm going to go 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So 15/4 equals r plus 1/8. So I'm writing it out, and I'm going to change this to eighths, right? 4 times 2 is 8, so 15 times 2 is 30. So now I have 30/8 equals r plus 1/8. I want to get r by itself, so I'm going to take away 1/8 from this side. That gets r gone. Now I'm not r gone, 1/8 gone, leaving r by itself. If I took away 1/8 from that side, I have to take away 1/8 from this side. Well, beautiful, it's already an eighths. 30/8, 30 minus 1 is 29/8. 29/8 equals r. Obviously, I can simplify that. 8 times 3 is 24, right? 24. So 29 minus 24 is 5. 3 and 5/8 equals r. So I'd be accepting both of those answers. This is the more simplified one, but if you had 29/8, you were on the right track, and that is also a correct answer. Nice job. How about number 12? All right, so here we are with a word problem, kinda. 5 more than a number y is -12. So when we see it written like this in word form and we have to make it look like numbers, we got to think about it. We have 5 more than a number y. We're calling it y. So 5 more than y is -2. Anytime I see the word is, this is important, is an equal sign. This would be a great example to have in your notes as well. And it's saying it is what? Is -2. So I can put -2 over there. I would say when you see a word problem like this and you're confused, what do you know? What do you know? Well, I know is -2. So that does help me. Then I have 5 more than a y. 5 more than a y. So that tells me it's y plus 5. 5 more than y, right? 5 more than a number y. So y plus 5 equals or -2, and now we're going to want to solve it for y. So if I have a positive 5 here, I want to do the opposite, right? Take away 5, leaving me with y, because that equals 0, right? If I take away 5 there, I got to take away 5 here. -2 minus a 5, change. -2 plus a -5 is a bigger negative. It's a -7. Y equals -7. You're going to get some of these on your paper with the sum of this or the difference of this. Something is less than this, and this would be a good example to have in your notes when you get to those problems. All right, you're going to get some problems like this where it says solve for x, and you're like, well, how do I solve for x? I have an 8, I have a 4.5. I don't know what x is. How do I solve for it? Well, you do, because look at, we know the perimeter is 16, and that's where we understand the perimeter is 16. So now I know that is my is. So equals 16. Well, I have 8 plus 4.5. I'm just going to add that up in my head and go 12.5 plus x equals 16. Okay, I'm going to write 12.5 like this. Is that okay? 12.5 is the same as 12.5, 12 and 5/10, plus some x equals 16. I'm going to go ahead and take away 12.5 from each side, giving me 0 here and giving me x by itself. But I have to take away 12.5 over here. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Move this. Borrow from there. 10 minus 5 is 5. Keep the decimal place in order. 5 minus 2 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. So x is 3.5. So when you get story problems, don't let the story problems confuse you. Try to find out what is my equals, what do I have, and what do I need to solve for. And I'm going to help you with those. When you get to 3.3a, 3.3b, we're going to work through those. We're going to take a couple days on each of those sheets. But what I need from you is when we get to those sheets and those harder problems, those story problems, you're going to have to ask for help when you're stuck. Don't just guess and get them wrong. Come ask me. I'm confused right here. Let's work through a few of those so then you can start doing them more on your own. Okay, guys? All right, we'll see you later. Good luck on 3.3, and I'm looking forward to helping you.